So Danny, like when you think of white privilege, like you shared on the group the other day about all the things that, how you like we didn't I mean, most of us don't really notice those things about white privilege. Like plasters, for example. Which I was shook by because I was literally like, oh my God, I never realized plasters weren't made in my color. So like, what do you think of that sort of stuff?
To me, it's always been my reality. So to have white Barbie dolls, to have a skin color crayon, to have white people on TV most of the time, like that's just been a reality that it's not that you for it or against it. It's just is what it is. Like, okay, this is what it is. So to me, if I look at it now that I look at it, even if I think about foundation, it's only been recently that you could actually find a foundation color perfect for people of color. Where with white people, it's so easy to find a foundation because every single brand makes perfect colors for white skin, but not for women of color. And thinking of that, to me, it made me feel bad. Like, oh, okay, like I didn't even know that was a thing, but I am privileged. If I think about it, I am privileged. I have makeup that always has suited my skin color. My dolls have all been white. I've never thought of it until now, in this process of us learning. I never thought about, imagine I have a child of color and her dolls are probably all going to be whites. Is she going to feel like bad or weird that her Barbie dolls are just white and they're not black or they're not of color? And even when you do get a black doll or a doll of color, it doesn't look right. It's not even like they put a lot of effort into it, where it looks, you don't even want to buy it because it just doesn't look like they
It's
even
cheap.
tried. It's kind of like, okay, let's make a doll of color because we have to, but it looks so damn ugly. Where it's like, damn, could you at least have tried to make a cute black Barbie doll? So, before I just saw it as, it's, it is what it is. We're now learning from you ladies. I'm like, wow, I feel bad that everything is to the advantage of a white person.
Jill, what do you think? Like, did you grow up with white dolls?
So by now everybody knows, like, I grew up mainly Afrikaans. So the thing is, growing up, and just to touch on what you said earlier, regarding like generational and things like that. For me, my mom didn't finish school. And unfortunately, that was because of apartheid and all the things that happened with that, right? So, of course, she doesn't have a high-paying job. And do I blame apartheid? I don't feel like I am blaming it because my mom didn't raise me that way. She raised me to raise above it and for me to be like, to break that generational thing and for me to inspire and work 10 times harder. And the thing is, why I'm emphasizing on 10 times harder is, as Black women or women of color, we have to work 10 times harder just to get an inch, like just an inch forward. And unfortunately, I feel like it's not going to change maybe in this century that I'm alive, but hopefully the road that I'm paving for the next century, it will change and things will be equal, or people will just get their peace, if that makes sense. Like, everybody will be able to get their peace without having to work 10 times harder because of your skin color. But so growing up, I had white Barbie dolls, and I was always wondering, like, why is my skin a bit dark? Like, and this is the thing, people will make jokes and say, oh, they left me in the sun too long. Oh, I was there in front of the line when God was tanning people, things like that, right?
What?
And then, yes, girl. And then you think for yourself, because everybody around you is white. Everybody around you has glad hare. Everybody around you, like, they just look different. And then you start questioning yourself. I mean, like, and I've mentioned this before, it's been years that it took me really like years to love my skin color because I never had a representation of my skin color. For my hair, I mean, all my Barbie dolls had gladde hare, so I wanted gladde hare, so I relaxed my hair. And for the longest time, I didn't know that that's actually not how my hair is supposed to look. My hair can be an afro, and then there won't be anything wrong with it because it's my natural look, it's my look. But I also remember in high school, then when my hair was natural and stuff, or if there was a bit of a curl here and wasn't straight, then people be like, oh, you got kruishare. You see, it's things like that that really, really impact you, because then you're like, what the hell is wrong with me? Because looking around, I don't have any representation of who I am as a person. And the people in power who wear my color weren't always celebrated. You understand? Like in my country.
Have a black woman role model who you could look
in
up, a
South
strong
Africa,
black woman who was comfortable in their own skin that you could look up to.
And then when I watched like Oprah and I saw her with her hair, I'm more resignated to people in America because those were the women in power, the women of color in power. And then when I look in South Africa, like when I was growing up, I can't actually remember who I looked up to as a woman of color that I could say, oh, I actually see a bit of myself in her, even if it was just color.
Yeah. What do you think, Mo?
So, yeah, I had a bit of I guess a bit of a confusing, time growing up identity-wise. So, as I'm sure you guys will know, so I was born in the UK and then was raised between Australia, Swaziland, and South Africa. So it's been a very interesting journey.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, growing up in
Really, Daddy?
You didn't. Wow, thanks, Mo. I feel so left out right now.
It was in my bachelor bio, so I figured, okay, we're all reading.
Oh, I don't read that. I only read that the other day. I think you posted it on your IG or something. That's when I saw it. I don't know. Or you answered a question on your IG story. I don't know. I'm not going to lie. I only found out like last week.
Okay, what do you? Yes, you guys know now. So yeah, it's been very interesting growing up in like the different contexts. And what I found like growing up in South Africa is I've been here since I was in grade 6. So it's been interesting to see how, just race and racial issues like just like come to the fore. Like it was never really something that I thought about much, like I think before coming here. And well, growing up, at least, like my parents sort of made a point to try and as much as possible, make me feel, like I was, worth more than just my skin color. Like they would always try to emphasize as much as possible that, that you have to understand that the world is going to be, a little bit harsher on you because of the color of your skin. Not so much in those words, but, there's little subtle things here and there. So they did try as much as they possibly could. And I'm thankful, for them, for that they really tried to instill in me that sense of pride, like, that you have to love yourself and that you have to, protect yourself from what people in the world are going to, how they're going to see you. And so at least I can say that they did make the effort with like, trying to like source like Barbie dolls for me or like, black dolls in general. It wasn't always easy because they were hardly ever in the shops, especially like in Swaziland as well. I think we had many. So whenever my dad would like travel, like, for work or for study or whatever it was, he'd make a point to try and find those things for me. And the fact that he had to go to that is just, it's quite sad that he had to go to that extreme to get dolls that actually looked like me. But, it's only now as an adult that I really appreciate that. And that, I was able to at least have that. I had that sort of like privilege, I guess, to some extent of being able to have that.